Welcome to Just a Few More Minutes podcast, where three veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation video games. I am one of your hosts. I am Jeff Gabor. Not here is Michael Berardini, but it doesn't mean he's not still part of the show. So he won't be joining us tonight because of his own news. And of course, we got Pete Paquette.
Hello.
Hey, Pete. How you been doing?
Well, like everybody, I'm just trying to stay positive.
Well, part of the positive news, we can talk about why Michael is not here. Since our last episode that we did in January, our recap show of everything that happened in 2019, as expected, he had his baby. So him and Mindy have their own baby Charlie. He's doing well. He's a month old already. Super cute looking. Saw a little picture today of little Charlie smiling. Super adorable.
He's totally the cutest baby I've seen.
Yeah, really cute.
You know, like, super cute. Yeah, congratulations, Mike and Mindy. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he, he's obviously busy. So we go ahead and cut him a little slack, and Pete and I will take the reins. Obviously, we got some free time on our hands right now, so we're recording some episodes. I think we'll go ahead and continue maybe recording some more episodes because we got some time, and we need to fill in some of the lack of socializing with something, and this is a good outlet, right, Pete?
Yeah, this is actually one of the things that has probably been keeping me sane is being able to talk to people like through different things, like just texting or like Discord channels or stuff like this. I swear.
Yep. So every episode of Just a Few More Minutes starts the same way with an animation tip. So I'm going to throw in an easy one. Hopefully I haven't talked about this one before. But if you don't have one from your job or if you work at home, make sure you have a webcam. I know they're starting to get archaic in terms of having your own external one or whatever. But do yourself a favor, make sure that whatever way you're working, you have one ready to go, because it is the most convenient way to get quick lip sync reference, or just a quick reference piece of a hand gesture or a head gesture, something really quick. You can just go ahead and turn it on, get it, and you don't feel like that. Maybe I'll just keep trying to figure out like why this one piece of animation isn't working, when you can just hit the button real quick. You're sitting your butt down. You don't even have to get up. Just turn on the webcam real quick and take a look. It's better than a mirror, because then that way you're not like trying to do a gesture, but you're also trying to like look at the mirror at the same time. You can't get the right angle for the reference. So make sure you do little webcams. They're super awesome for getting just quick reference. So I started really getting addicted to it during the last show. It's great. Webcams. Love it.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get this out.
Yeah, still blast it out. But yeah, so just to keep going down that road, that's where I use that for my lip sync reference pass as well. So I can get like really close to the camera, and it's like much later. You got all the main acting bot off on, and you're kind of doing your little sweep pass and making sure the character is doing the exact right lip sync. So you can, a lot of times what I do is I play the audio of the clip in my cans, and then I turn on the webcam, and then I just do the lip sync along with it. And there should be settings that you can set to where it's actually recording what you're hearing. So it records your desktop audio with your webcam audio, so you're already synced. So when you hit record, boom, it's the actor's audio with your reference already synced for some nice lip sync reference. So that is my tip. It's pretty convenient.
Yeah, I've never used a webcam for reference, but that makes a lot of sense. I never even considered it, actually. I don't know why. It's just, it's a fucking webcam.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it?
Hey. By the way, we do have a viewer on Twitch, Curved Earth.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. See your little comments. Did I really have that tip before? Oh, well. Them's the breaks. 72 episodes. Bound to repeat myself. I'm only so smart.
All right. We
still got Nightbot saying to tell people to donate to NestQuest. Whatever.
Hey, speaking of which, there is where we are in a state of quarantine, and Extra Life was opening something that was going to happen this weekend that was like an exclusive thing to the entire public. So, I don't know. And it's specifically for raising money for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have to look into it more, but I thought it was... I don't think it was this weekend. Maybe it's next weekend. I don't know.
Well, do you remember the year we did the Extra Life where all the hurricanes happened? Floods. It was like floods.
Oh, yeah.
It was like year after year. It was like 3 or 4 different floods happened. And that was our worst year possible. Because everybody had like done their own donations and trying to get relief for these people. And we had the hardest time getting Extra Life donations. I am so worried about, these little charity groups, not little, but the charity groups this year when time comes, because people are taking a serious economical and financial hit, and these charities are certainly going to suffer, and Extra Life is not going to be immune to it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for obvious reasons, I mean, it's... But then again, you don't know, because it's such a... The society, let's face it, society as we know it is going to change. If we end up on the other side of this, I don't see a time where we would go back to life as we know it. I just can't see it as a possibility.
It was funny. It was about 3 weeks ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, you texted me, and it was just kind of the beginning of this thing kind of happening. And, people were just like starting to get kind of like weird about theaters and that kind of stuff. And you said, hey, man, I think this might be the end of theaters. And you were talking about like, is this the moment that it all switches?
Yeah.
And sure enough, boom. We have Frozen 2 going like early to streaming.
Yeah.
We have
Onward.
Onward, thank you. Onward,
yeah.
Now you can watch it. And Trolls 2 is basically not going to get a theatrical release. I mean, I think there'll be some places, right? But it's going straight to demand now. And I'm definitely going to watch that. Like,
oh, yeah, I bought it. 'Cause, I mean, we should be clear that Onward is like, you got to pay for it on top of the subscription. It's not on Disney Plus.
Right, yeah.
It's like $20.
And that's to rent it right now, and then it's to own in a couple weeks, right?
No,
is that what it is?
No, I bought it.
Own it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for $20. Like, tell me there's a reason why people would... Like, I understand, like, the theater experience with the popcorn and all that shit. But let's face it, it was expensive to take a family of, like, 4 to a movie to get the popcorn, the overpriced popcorn, the overpriced fucking soda, fucking overpriced candy, and like... Just to do that and sit down and watch a movie would cost a family of 4 $150. When I could buy...
Twitch stream says Onward is hitting Disney Plus on the 3rd.
Ah, okay.
So if that's true, then that's good.
Well, whatever. I love... Did you see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it yet. Now that I can stream it, I definitely want to go ahead and do that. And I'll load it up and see if Mackenzie and is interested in it. She gets scared of a lot of stuff, so if it gets too intense, then I'll just watch it alone.
Yeah. It was probably my favorite Pixar movie since Monsters, Inc. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe some people would disagree with me on that, but I've heard loved it.
I think the reviews have generally like been positive, and some ecstatic reviews, and some people being like, "Yeah, it was good, it was all right." And there's a couple outliers in each direction saying that it's either great or really terrible. But in general, yeah, it seems positive. I'm looking forward to it. Pixar doesn't do a lot of garbage. Even at their worst, they're great.
It was super relatable to me because I have a little brother that I grew up with. Well, now he's the engineer on my game with me, but like I had that same relationship with him, and it was just I don't know. It was just spoke to me. The older brother was like this rocker dude with in a shitty car,
Yeah, our other Twitch question is the question: will remote? I guess it is remote work be the norm for studios? And I can go ahead, Pete. You answer.
I was gonna say I don't think it will be necessarily a complete change. I do think, however, the concept of remote workers being a viable option because the infrastructure there now is a much better chance than it was before.
Right.
So that's my hot take on it. But what do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I think it's going to be part of each studio's culture that they want to push forward. And I think very much for the culture of the big studios, DreamWorks, Disney, Pixar, Blue Sky, I don't think that's the culture that they want to push. It's much more about this teamwork and this camaraderie and this coming together in studio feel. I think there's definitely the doors open now for it to be, I don't know, people working more hours from home, or if especially during crunch, those kind of things, you're going to see that infrastructure built up where they can reach out further and further, and the distances go further and further to bring in those last bit of troops to help finish a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we're culturally ready for that entire big shift yet. And Pete, also just think about this, how lonely is this?
Dude, this has been my life for 5 years.
Yeah. Well, there. It gets lonely, huh?
That's what, dude. That's why, when at the end of each podcast, if you ever watch the video, you can see I get sad.
Mm.
As fucking pathetic as that sounds, it's the goddamn truth. And that's something that never gets better. It never gets better. Especially. Let me say it never gets better. I had my chance for it to get better. But now I feel like it's too late. I feel like it's...
You mean going back into a studio?
Yeah.
Mm.
But
the actual environment of living and working solo at that part, you're not meaning that part had an element of getting better.
I've done it so often, so much for the past 5 years. And I can tell you the things that I haven't learned. I haven't learned time management because I always end up working. I've learned that because I work from home, I can continue to work more or work multiple jobs, right?
Right. I know whenever you talk about it, yeah, it seems like you're not lacking in it's the other side of it. It's not time managing yourself into, I need to find the right time. You're balancing it way too much to work. You're working 70, 80, 90 hours a week.
Yeah, there was a point in time I was doing that. And I regret it. I regret it so bad because I'm worried that I'll never get a second chance.
At what exactly?
I'm worried that I'll never get a second chance to be able to. I'm worried that I'll never get a second chance to have a normal life with my kids again. And I'm worried that I don't know. It's just this whole thing has got me thinking. I'm worried I've wasted years doing that.
Well, we'll talk about so recently. Well, real quick, my own brother just put out a message saying that If it makes you feel any better, Pete, you're by far the best part of the podcast.
You gotta love brotherly love, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, you gotta love it.
But you made a big change recently, talking about a lot of like looking for changes in your life and trying to find value, what's important. Mm-hmm. So you made a huge change in terms of your job since the episode that we recorded.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was about a year ago, I got approached by a friend of mine who I worked with at 38 Studios, a very talented environment artist who turned into an indie developer and made the game Tower of Guns and made the game Mother Gunship. These both are on PS4 and Xbox One and the PC, obviously. But the point is, like, his third game, he came to me and he showed me the idea, and right away I was like, okay, I'm gonna help you out on this. You know, I want to be a part of this because this is really cool. It's really different. It's really interesting. And that was about, you know, that was January of last year. So I was working on the side. You know, I was working for Blizzard during the day, or working for them in the morning, and then working at Blizzard in the afternoon and into the night. And they got some funding, and they offered me they offered me like a full-time gig, and because they liked how I was doing things, and I was scared to make the decision to do it, but in hindsight, I'm so glad I did, because it made me realize that style of animation. Let's face it, I love game animation. I love games, right? But the opportunity in games to actually do like solid acting as a contracting animator is pretty slim. There's not many opportunities. I haven't had many to do to flex any sort of acting muscles except BioShock Infinite. And so it's been years, and this project has totally allowed me to get back to my roots. And it's been really good, and I'm really excited about it. And it's a great team of people. So I can't talk any more about that. But
no, do you feel comfortable talking about some of the stuff like that you, like, because you're saying it was a hard decision to make. What did you give up? Like, what did you put to the side?
Well, I was working for Blizzard, and you know, the thing that I really liked about working at Blizzard was, one, their rigs were great, you know, and the characters are great, and I worked for like John Collins and Ryan Denniston. I mean, these are two guys I was in the trenches with on Ice Age 2 and Horton, and they were like super cool to work for, you know. It was a great job, and it, you know, there's no end there that I can foresee, you know. It's like, okay, you know, it's gonna be there. Yeah. But yeah, John Collins is one of the best people I know, honestly.
Yeah, someone just chimed in on Twitch saying John Collins is the best.
Yep.
There's a question: do you miss film?
Do I miss film?
Yep.
I miss, which actually this itch hasn't been scratched since this project I'm currently on. This hasn't been scratched since Blue Sky, and that is the ability to really dive into the character's head and really, really figure out, okay, what makes this character tick? What is it that, like, what is it about this character that makes him act this way? and why, and how does he relate with the other people, and how do other people relate to him, and being able to develop that from the ground up has been amazing. You know, it's been absolutely amazing. And I have a team of some animators, and they all do a great job. You know, they really like working with me, and I like working with them. So it's like it's a really, really good environment. And it's an entirely remote studio.
Well, that was the thing with it being an entirely remote studio. How much has everything recently affected your work?
It's an entirely remote studio, but we all work on Discord. And Discord, if you don't know, has a bunch of different channels that you can have up to 50 people, and they've unlocked it since the quarantine. You could have up to 50 people in a chat room, and any of those people can go live with what they're doing at any given time, and it's and we make a point to all hang out together in the chat rooms while we're working. I can say quite honestly, the last time I felt like a team like that was when I was working in a studio. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting social experiment, but I feel like it's going to start becoming normal. You know, I feel like I feel like it's going to start not that it's not normal now, but like I feel like there's gonna be way more things done that way.
Well, I mean, just thinking about that,
just out of necessity.
I wonder how safe it is, because it's like security wise of like it makes me think of because obviously my work has been seriously affected. It's like, is that an option even for Blue Sky animators? Like, we're all trying to see what we can do, and we're trying to still do work, but we don't have that. We're just not into it yet. We don't know what we're doing. Do we join Discord, based on what you're saying? Do we do we start building that kind of social atmosphere that way in the meantime?
Dude, tell them to join our Discord's fucking server then.
Well, because we're barely getting started. But
I'm being serious.
No, but genuinely, so we're gonna get our remote workstations up in the next few weeks for a few of us. It'll take a while for everybody to get up and running, but we're looking at Blue Sky is essentially down to a skeleton crew until June. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's a new world, and trying to gain that social feel. I'm open to options. So if you're saying Discord helps you make it feel like a studio, and you're in these rooms with your animation team and talking, because I think
let me just explain the difference between this and other remote situations that I've been in the past. The difference with this is that you're allowed to check in, but it's encouraged to hang out with the rest of the team. It's encouraged, not mandatory, but encouraged, right? So people understand that, hey, you know what? If you're really busy and you don't have time to bullshit, you just say, hey, I'm gonna go heads down, and nobody gives you any shit about it, right? But it's encouraged to at least go in there, you know, and then usually people just stick around. And
what's the difference between just using Slack?
Well, the difference between using Slack and that is that, for instance, you can install a bot on this channel that you can install a bot on your server entirely that say plays music, nice jazz in the background or something like that.
Okay.
And or you can make text and video channels and privatize them. So you can make a virtual office by literally using tags on the channels, tags on the channels and tags on the members, right? So you can have okay, this is the president's office. You don't really go over there, unless you're invited or, and then the higher echelon people have access to that channel, right? So it's just it's strange, but it works so well.
I mean, it's way over my head right now, but
If you're interested, I could give you a full rundown on it. Like, just stick around after we record for a little while. I could give you the full rundown. It's great.
Yeah, we're having to get accustomed to remote working very quickly.
You know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna do this right fucking now.
Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this live.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a link that never expires with no limit on maximum number of uses. And
we have a user saying he doesn't like remote working right now, and I think it might be Melvin MTan77. I don't like it so far, or maybe it's Discord. I'm not sure. MTan, if you get it.
Melvin Tan. What's Melvin Tan? Don't try to fool us, M10. I hope you're okay, Melvin. You and your family are okay.
Yeah, we're all in the New York area over here, so
okay.
The hardest hit. He says he's good, thanks.
That is the Discord channel. If you have a profile, click on that and just join, and then I'll set it all up. Everybody, look, it's gonna be strange. It's gonna be a time of adjustment, but if I could do it, I'm actually kind of happy that more people are doing it. I'm not happy that this happened, but I'm happy that more people are in this realm now, so that way, it's not as lonesome of a venture, So,
right.
So yeah, just join that link. I'll put it where else can we put it, Jeff?
I mean, we have our Instagram, we have our our Twitter account, and you have Facebook. All through just a few more minutes, so you can go ahead and put it out there. I would probably go ahead and give some context to the link, but
all right,
you can find it. You should be able to find it there, and maybe when we upload this as our podcast, hopefully there'll be a video or a hyperlink in the in the YouTube channel. I mean, we're using Discord now to actually record the podcast, right? Like, this is something new that happened this year. We started using Discord through. I don't know why my audio is always jacked, but I'm pretty sure that's on my end. But whatever. Hopefully I sound decent enough.
Yeah. You sound great. The only thing is you cut out sometimes, and the reason why that's happening, honestly, is because we're in a private call. Right? If we in a channel, I can actually adjust the bandwidth. So if that happens on the fly, I can actually tack it down, to compensate. So I got to do that. I got to make that. But
CG Saki Bomb says we're using Microsoft Teams. That seems to be working well. We have Friday virtual happy hour where everyone stops working and socializes. So I'm sure that's a similar thing. So far at Blue Sky, we've just been using Slack that I'm aware of to kind of meet up and talk, but it obviously lacks in that face-to-face feel. And I guess there's what else are we using? Zoom using that kind of thing. So
yeah, Zoom. I hear Zoom a lot. I haven't used it. The thing that I like about Discord is it also has a lot of really cool game tie-ins. Like different bots for different leaderboards and bots for. You could literally gamify the text channel. It's completely stupid, but it's like this fun little thing. So as you're typing, all of a sudden you'll see, Pete, you leveled up to level 3. May your loins never fall off. And you can set all these things in the bot, and then
so you're gaining XP by how much you chat.
Yeah.
All right.
It's fun.
Oh, Brock Boyd would be done. Justin Weg, boom, XP 1000. Done. They never stop talking.
Well, there is a spam filter, so like you can't.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, by the way.
The whole like so you can't just sit there and be like L enter, O enter, V enter, E enter, because the bot actually like filters out collects every 3 or 4 seconds or something like that.
Pete, are you sharing your screen? Someone's saying we're just staring at your desktop right now.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. Sorry.
What was your desktop? I wasn't watching.
Oh, I'm glad there was no porn on there or anything. God. My desktop was from Journey to the Savage Planet. Spaceship.
Okay. You almost made people like forced to look at my side of the camera for a bit. They don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, like, anybody needs any help, any recommendations, I'll drop everything and help you guys. Like, it's gonna be a hard time for everybody, but we all got each other, and that's kind of the point that. I think that's the silver lining in all of this, is it's starting to show good in people. Like, the good people are starting to. I'm hearing more good things about people than I am bad things right now.
Well, the stressful times in general, right? This is always where you test people's quality, right? So this is where you're gonna find people at their best and at their worst. It just puts. It's a pressure cooker put on, and you get to see where people really lie. But speaking of things, sort of like what you're interested in, I forget how I did have a better transition. Fuck it. But things that you've been interested in lately. So trying to stay positive, things that somehow have caught your eye. You were talking about Onward. Is there anything else that you feel like is like all of a sudden like you're video game wise or movie wise is something that's kind of caught your eye lately?
Okay. So it's something that kind of was a product of all this. So like my kids, I feel really bad for my kids because, they're loving the fact that they're home from school, but when they canceled school for as long as they did, they were super bummed out that like all their after school programs were gone. They're not going to see their friends for a few months. So in my company Discord server, I made a channel for them and their friends, and it's locked, and nobody can get in there but them because I tagged them and all their friends as so they go on there and they talk and they play video games together. And the other thing I did was I bought a game called Temtem for myself, my daughter, and my son. And Temtem, I'm gonna say it right now, it's a fantastic MMO. But I have zero idea how they're not getting sued by Pokemon, because it is the exact same game. The differences I've seen are that the term Pokemon is now Temtem, and you don't throw Pokeballs, you have like a USB stick. That's literally like, I can walk up to something and be like, well, this looks like a place where I recharge my Pokemon. Oh, I mean Temtem. And I put it in there and it works. And it's like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, how did they get away with this? But the point is that we've been playing that game, and that's been really great. I've also been playing Fortnite with my son and one of his best friends.
Okay.
And I gotta say, like, I hated online gaming, and I always was against it, and I hated it, but right now, I'm glad that we have it.
They recently introduced a helicopter, right? How do you?
Yeah. I get flashbacks when I'm up in that freaking thing. Jesus.
That's good. Yeah. Online gaming, I think, is. I'm actually surprised that PlayStation and Xbox haven't had more issues. I know Xbox has had a few lately, but I'm surprised their servers haven't crashed more, given how much pressure is on their servers right now.
I am very surprised that the internet is still working.
Yeah.
I'm not taking this for granted at all. I'm very surprised that it still works.
Yeah, right? Like, I was expecting, like, wow, like, everybody's moving to remote. Everybody's, like, flooding the internet. Like, everybody's, downloading all their movies and all their content. And somehow things haven't blown up yet. It's odd. All right.
And it's not just our country. It's like... It's pretty much, like, Italy's going through something similar,
Yeah, I mean, it's spreading all over the world. I wanted to talk about something that since Disney Plus and staying at home and all that, my daughter and I watched and binged through all of the new DuckTales.
Oh yeah, is it good?
All right. I think my favorite show as a kid, like in retrospect, was DuckTales. So even through college, like working through, I was at the Art Institute of Colorado, and I had a lot of homework, and what I did was had a very regimented schedule, and it always included at 1 a.m. in the morning taking a half-hour break to watch DuckTales. Like, that was the thing. It was like work, 1 a.m. They played an old episode of DuckTales. I'd watch it, then go back to work. But so I'm just saying, like, my mark for the new DuckTales was like way high. Like, it had a lot to live up to. And I can safely say the new DuckTales is better than the original.
Really?
It is better. It is far better. I started watching it.
Wait a minute. What is it on Disney Plus?
It's all the first two seasons are on Disney Plus.
It's fucking on. I've been looking for something to watch with the kids, so that's fantastic news.
So, and
it's fantastic news.
My daughter loves it. I think she's annoying my with how much she wants to watch it, because we blasted through the 2 seasons, and now she just wants to cherry pick all of her favorite episodes. She talks about wanting to dress up as the characters for Halloween. She loves this character and this character. She makes me draw them all the time. Like, she loves it, and I love that she loves it. And my favorite part is that watching the old ones again, because that's what I started with her. I was like, oh, let's watch DuckTales. Like, we have Disney Plus now. Let's watch the old DuckTales. And she was like, I was starting to get this, like, oh my God, this is just for boys. There's no female characters. Every new character that they'd introduce, Gizmo Duck and Bubba, and then, every hero, villain, everything, it was all male. And the only female representatives were Webby, which was this annoying character that Huey, Dewey, and Louie wanted to kick to the side. And then there was Mrs. Beakley, who was all right, but she was just the maid, and that was it. Like, there was, or you could be a bad person, be Magica, and that was it, or Ma Beagle, right? So there was, like, not these great role models. And then so I'm like, all right, let's turn on the new DuckTales. Let's see what it's about. And immediately everything is, Webby is so cool. Oh my God, and then she's like, all I want to do is watch the episodes with Lena. It's like she is in love with all this. They completely helped the female audience. So I can't wait for you to see it. Your daughter's gonna love it.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked. That's awesome. Like, I love DuckTales, man. I'm so glad to hear that.
If you have any memory of DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Gummy Bears, if you have any of those Disney TV
Disney Afternoon.
The Disney Afternoon in your head, you're going to get so much back from this, because this show is made for us, it's made for children. Like, they're like, man, do you remember this? Huh? Do you remember?
Another one I loved was the sister show, Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
And both video games were fucking awesome when they came out.
Yep.
Chippendale at the co-op, the co-op platform, and that was, like, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I played it with my brother. My brother was like 6 years old. I was like, damn, this is a great game.
I would say I at least caught 4 or 5 times they reference the DuckTales video game in the cartoon, the new cartoon. It's amazing. They reference.
Are you serious?
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, I'm actually gonna start watching it tonight without my kids. It sounds fantastic.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh man, I hope my wife doesn't hear this part because she won't like this part. But there's some episodes in the second season where I'm watching it and I started getting like tears in my eyes. I'm I'm starting to well up at DuckTales. What the hell is it?
Yeah,
I'll just make sure Mackenzie doesn't see that I'm starting to tear up and she asks questions.
I don't think you have to sell this anymore, Jeff. I think it's
yeah.
you know. Do you remember? Wait a minute. Speaking of DuckTales, do you remember you had to be do you remember you had to be a part of a special VHS club, Disney VHS club, and they sent you a VHS tape, which was The Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that. But
give me 1 second. Buy me some time.
Yeah. But Treasure of the Lost Lamp for anybody else. Man, that was a good movie as well. There's a lot of good DuckTales stuff on there. Can't find it.
I have it. No. It's just in storage. But but it's like this. It was like you had to like send away for it, and it was a great movie. You get it on DVD now and stuff. I think it might even be on it.
It's on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus.
It is? Dude, it's great.
Yeah.
You should watch it. It's great.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Mac.
That I need to do.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I just need somebody to go ahead and like tell me if I'm crazy with how much I love the new one. So.
Okay, I will be that person, although I might be biased, but to the show, not you. But, you know.
Besides that, I've been playing a lot of Rocket League for the same reason that you were talking about, socializing.
Yeah.
Friends and that kind of thing. So, I downloaded Exit the Gungeon, which is a game like I've been talking about years for Enter the Gungeon. Now there's Exit the Gungeon.
It's a different game, isn't it? Is it like a platformer?
It's more of a platformer. It has similar, lots of bullets, lots of spray, lots of dodging, that kind of thing. So I wanted to load it up and try it. I haven't got to play it yet, but I'll do that.
I did buy Doom Eternal. I got to play that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we played Doom for the podcast a couple of years ago, and that was fantastic. I think we all rated that as one of our favorite games of the year.
Yeah, they're saying this one's even better. Like reviews are saying this one's even better.
So what else do we got as topics? We were going to try to make this a short show, but we failed miserably.
Well, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is being creative during difficult times. I don't know if you've ever been through a tough time in your life. You don't have to share specifics or anything, but I certainly have on multiple occasions, and this is a unique experience for everybody. I can't say that. I can't say. I'm gonna preface this by saying I can't say that. My experience is the same as anybody else's, or things that I'm gonna say will help anybody else, because each situation is different, right? But I will say that my children, when they were like one of the first time, actually I'll tell you a story. The first time I had to go animate through a crisis was about 15 years ago, and I'm talking to what is it, 3,000 people in here right now. My dad kind of went insane, and I had to kind of help. My grandmother called because he was at my grandmother's farm, and I happened to be home. And I think I was on vacation from Blue Sky, and I was for like the weekend or something. And I had to go back to work the following week, and on a Sunday morning, my grandmother calls me. She's like, "You have to come here. Your dad's walking around. He's not making any sense, and he's scaring us." So I, got out of bed, jumped in the car, got over there, and he's completely incoherent and didn't know who I was. And I threw him, I had to throw him into the car and wrestle him into the car to get him to go to the hospital. And then when we were there, I had to hold him down with police and everything while he was like freaking out, and it did a job on me. And don't. And in times of crisis, like for instance during the story of 9/11, when that happened, I just worked constantly to get my mind off it. So in times of crisis, all I think about is working. And, so that was all during that time. I was like, I gotta work. And the beautiful thing about being an artist, being an animator, is that during those hard times, is that I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I'm in there, I'm in this, like, when I'm in there and I'm like, and I'm talking in the zone, and I don't know if I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Jeff, but I'm talking like pinpointed focus, like to the point to where you're not blinking.
Yeah.
When you're in that zone, it is the most peaceful thing. Yeah. I don't know about you, Jeff, but it is the most serene feeling. It's addicting.
Yep.
And I think it's like that's why being creative, like, if you can get to that zone, to that level of focus on what you're doing, there's no better stress relief, honestly.
Man, you were hitting on the exact moment of like, I'm not a supervisor anymore, right? I'm an animator. And the thing that I looked most forward to is getting back to exactly what you're describing. I just need to live in that zone again. Like, I always refer to it as the zone. It's like where time doesn't matter. Nothing matters. You're not thinking about food or a person or your kids or whatever. Everything just all of a sudden starts to like melt away, and everything just becomes about your focus on what you're doing. And for a moment it's just quiet. And it is like you said, it's just addicting because it's everything bustling in your head all the time of like this and that, and it feels like there's 10,000 voices in your head all the time. For that moment, there's one, and it's quiet.
Yep.
So, yeah, I can completely relate, and that's why I like animation. It's because so often the work that is demanded of you forces you into that place, and it's the reason why I started drawing a lot, is because that even when you're a kid and all that, like finding that zone and finding that quiet was important to me.
Yeah.
And it continues now. And I need to get back there more often for sure. And I think that would help a lot. And I can see why in such an emotional, impactful time in your life, why you would find that as a relief.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely. It's absolutely sort of therapeutic, like seriously therapeutic, and it doesn't matter what you're creating. If you can get to that point in what you're creating, it doesn't matter. It could be a piece of furniture. It could be anything. If you just create, and you will find that zone, and that zone will bring you peace. And you'll wake up and 3-4 hours have gone by.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Oh, man.
It's amazing how time is so relative that, man, when you're struggling with fighting with your kids or your wife or making dinner and someone just shit themselves while you're trying to do this, like every 15 minutes feels like an eternity. But when you're in that zone, you're right, 3 hours, you're like, whoa, like I can't believe it just went away that fast. I know there's like people we're talking to know this stuff, but yeah, man, it's good to talk about how much healing can be done with that, especially right now.
Yeah. And even
struggling,
even if somebody is in here and is just interested in, or is like an old friend of mine or Jeff's, or like somebody like who isn't necessarily an artist or an animator, just create. Like, I promise you, it'll bring you so much peace if you can just let your mind focus only on what you're creating. Forget about whether it's good or bad, because it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, Melvin's been talking in the chat, and he's saying, he finds peace in gardening, and it's that same thing. It's that same finding peace, and he reiterated, like, it's create and find peace, and whether it's gardening or animating or drawing or whatever, it's that same thing you're tapping into, of finding a focus and finding peace within that, and time seems to like find its own way through you. I don't know. It's a very we should
probably mention that, since this is probably the biggest audience we've ever talked to. This Nightbot is old, so don't disregard it, please. It's Jeff, you gotta shut this shit off.
I know, I gotta log into Nightbot and turn it off. Sorry about that.
But if you're new to the channel, we do animation podcasts and talks like this. Not quite as serious as this all the time, although I can't see it ever not being this serious from here on out. Although we do have a lot of fun still. We still fuck around and joke and stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the military training or not, but I haven't slept. Like, I literally, like, I wake up, or I wake up in the morning around 10 o'clock, probably 10-ish, and I stay up till 5 in the morning. And when I see first light, I go to sleep. And I wake up and do it all over again. And I think it's some primal thing. Some primal thing, some sort of military training thing.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, I'm tired. But I'm finding peace in the work.
Yeah, that's definitely comforting.
Yeah. I'm finding that peace in... Okay, Daniel Stewart. Oh, I'm an OG Jeff. I've been watching you guys from the first, usually on YouTube, though. Well, thanks, man. That's really nice. Thank you for being one of the originals.
Yeah, I miss doing JAFMM. I would... It's one thing that we were going to do an episode after GDC, right?
Yeah, and then
GDC got canceled, so it was like, when are we going to do it?
Well, it got rescheduled. It actually got rescheduled.
Did it? To when?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
I think August they're doing like a GDC summer thing.
Okay.
So, hopefully that can happen,
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remain positive through all this. So you gotta joke. I made a oh, did I tell you I made a religion?
Yeah, you gotta link that too.
Okay, I made a religion.
All right, because I feel like I haven't pitched this to you yet, but I was like, hey man, I gotta find a way. I'm the fucking walrus voice. I gotta find a way to do the voice of this stuff sometime.
No, do you want to?
Am I not the walrus? Am I not the walrus? Let me.
No,
click
I
on
wasn't.
that.
No, Jeff, I wasn't. I wasn't planning on. So me and my friend Samchai decided one night to, like, on our stream channel. This was a couple nights ago. Speaking of creating, we decided to make this religion that is entirely that is entirely spontaneous and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, and the funny thing is that the thing that I saw that made me come up with this idea was I was thumbing through I was looking for like cool icons for my company server, and all of a sudden I see this walrus drawing of a walrus crucified on a cross. And I was like something in my head just popped, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make a religion where there's a walrus, and the walrus is gonna, and Samchai, my friend Samchai, is really funny dude.
Yeah.
He started like saying all these things, like these mantras and stuff, and I just started writing them all down, and then I took basically everything he was writing and boiled them into like haikus. And so our daily affirmations are these real like silly haikus. And
all right, so how do you read it? Is it .001?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the context of
the religion is called 6502. It's based off of the processor that's in the original NES.
Okay. So, and then going back to the Lost Boys in the Treehouse Studios, you had an image of a walrus in the Lost Boys cubicle area for years, and then you did the puppet. We did the Treehouse puppet stuff, and then eventually that became its own character.
Yep.
And I got to do the walrus voice.
Right.
The puppeting.
So I'm looking for ideas. So, like, for instance, if you're interested in being the voice of the walrus, which I haven't even really thought about doing it, but we could do audio logs where you just hit play on the website and it's like...
we're doing it live right now. I'm doing it right now.
No, don't do it right now.
All right. Hold on.
Okay, you go ahead. I want to see this.
.001. Dennis the Divine. Taste the tears, suckle the tusk. Breadcrumbs to fish sticks. .002. They are washed ashore. Bask in the shiny beads light. Found forevermore. I haven't got to do the walrus in so long.
It is so ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous. But, we're having so much fun just developing this stuff. I remember watching your...
Make sure you wear a condom, Pete. I double wrap mine and still got... I can't remember the rest of the line. I still got...
Yeah, that got cut, didn't it? Let's see. Bubba Hum says, I remember watching your Treehouse Pals back in the day. I would use the cherry lube a bit at work quite a few times. Oh my god. Oh man, that's great. My fucking headphones came unplugged. I threw my head back in laughter on that one.
Yeah, I think it was the walrus that brought up the cherry lube.
Yep. Man. God, dude, that was pre-YouTube, really. That was like the dawn of YouTube.
I was early. Yeah, I think YouTube I was born somewhere around 2005 or something like that.
We've been trying to take that site down, that channel down.
Nobody's got access to it.
No, it's stuck up there. There is nothing we could do. It is forever there until YouTube takes it down. But the channel is called, I'll just put it here, Lost Boys
I think
Z
with a Z, right?
Productions, yeah. So if you look up that, you'll see the channel. But it's be warned, it's not for children and some adults.
No, and the biggest thing about it is it's filled with stuff that is not, to use the parlance of our time, woke from today. Like, it's just not... There's stuff in there that we wouldn't fly today, and it's not... That's the biggest thing. That's like why we would be considering taking it down. It's like, all right, there's some sketchy stuff in there that we just wouldn't want speaking for us anymore.
Right.
So it was a shit ton of fun to do, and we didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but we can see now watching it today with today's spectacles may not be so good.
Yeah, but the thing is like it's not too far fetched. I mean, like, yeah, we got a little raunchy with it, but it's and we pushed some of the ideas, but the concept isn't all that far fetched. Like I mean, it fucking happened.
Oh, like the character of Nick
becoming a director?
Being an entitled animator that slowly climbs his way and becomes this all-empowering director. Yeah, no, it happened.
Yeah. I'm proud and happy for him, but like that's he called it. He helped us write it, so it's not like this was some sort of malicious thing. It was just
No, and it was a good 7 years before he got the director gig when we wrote those episodes. It was pretty crazy.
yeah.
Just sort of happened. And then you were an animator that slowly went into a descent of madness. Accurate, still too. Accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not exactly the most sane person right now.
Scott Carroll, suck up. You know.
I gotta say, when I found out about his new position, I was like, I'm so happy for you, dude, but that's totally Pimp Cane. Like, he must go in with a raging boner every day at work. Like, he must fucking love that shit.
I don't know about that, but it's certainly no one else but him could be in that role. It's written for him. Yeah, good stuff. All the characters sort of seem to live up to who they are. I don't know if I quite have manifested myself into being the walrus, but we'll see.
Well,
I wasn't.
That's pretty. You'd have to be this perverted. You'd have to be extremely perverted.
We had the walrus rape a person, so yeah, I would say so. I mean, it was a dream.
It was a dream. Yeah, we have to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, but it was aggressive. So I would say I'm not quite the walrus. I would think it would be different if there was a Jeff puppet back in the day, and then that's who I was. But we never did quite get into being. There was no Jeff puppet.
Oh, come on, dude! Don't start.
I wasn't in the cube yet.
Do not lay guilt trips. We made dude.
Man,
do not lay guilt trips, because you were more of a part of that show than some of the original people.
I just tried to cling on. I was just trying to constantly cling to the group, and
you were the walrus. And you did a ton of effects, and you helped us write. You wrote the entire last episode, which was arguably the best episode we did. So,
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
Was there? Well, we talked about how we want to do some more episodes, so we'll chime in more, and we'll give people more of a heads up in the social media world to if they want to come in on Twitch and watch us and ask questions. It was nice, Melvin and Bubba Hum and Daniel Stewart. These kind of people like to chime in and watch with us and give us questions. That was nice. So if there's if more people see this on YouTube, we'll be doing this again. Check out Facebook. We'll blast it, maybe give a little bit more of a heads up next time. But we'd definitely like you guys to come in and chat with us, especially during these times. And if you have ideas on how to stay social, you can share them with us on the next one. But this was good.
Thank you, Bubba Hum.
I don't know who Bubba Hum is. Wish I did. I don't know. Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, stay clean. You guys stay home. Wash your fucking hands. I've heard things like it lives on metal for like 9 days, and it clings to your clothes and hair. Like, clean your shit. Whenever you leave your premises and you come back to your safe zone, you clean your shit. Yeah. Look up a YouTube video on how to wash your hands. There's a video where they where somebody put black paint on white gloves and showed, people washing their hands like this, right? Or like this, or something like this, right? Mm-hmm. And wherever he's rubbing, his hand turns black. By the time, it took a good long time and very different techniques, and like scrubbing like this, scrubbing like that, like this, like that. Like, it was fascinating because it showed exactly how many spots you miss when you quote unquote wash your hands.
Well, anybody that's ever like painted a room and you're trying to get the paint off your hands, you realize how many spots you miss when you're trying to wash your hands, do soap, you do your hands, you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
And you have to go back again. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I want to do this more often for sure. It might just be me sometimes. Might just be Jeff sometimes.
All right, man.
Well, you guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. And stay safe. Clean yourself. Social distance. 6 feet. You think you're 6 feet in your mind? Think double that, so you're far enough away. Watch after those kids.
Yes. So I'll wrap it up. This has been Just a Few More Minutes podcast, where 3 veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games. We'll catch you another time.
See you guys.